Okay, we are recording. All right. Thanks everyone for joining our little smaller team training videos here. I'm Molly Moore. I'm not Lindsay Bartow. I am their Sarah B. We're just hijacking her Zoom account. But for those that are first joiners, first to attend, thanks for coming. Hopefully you'll learn something. Jen Crichfield and myself thought we would do just a smaller training sessions, just to kind of like go back to the basics to refresh your business. Hi, Emily Ripley. You can't hear me. Anyway, so myself, Molly Moore, Jen Crichfield is the other trainer on the call. Sarah Begley, Sarah with an H, is another trainer, official trainer. Tracy Nickerson as well. Let's see here. I don't see Jen Offenbacher, Hillary Larbus, and Aaron Dolly are the others that are on our team here. So,
Aaron, I know Aaron had a pop-up tonight, so
she always has a pop-up. I mean, good for her. She's rocking it.
The booking queen.
Okay, so tonight's topic is in-home pop-ups. And if anyone has, just a little housekeeping, if anyone has any background noise, if you go on your lower left, you can hit the mute button, or if you don't want us to see your pretty faces, you can stop the video, but don't do that. We want to see everybody. But if you do want to stop the video, you can do that, lower left. Okay, so tonight, Jen Crichfield is taking over. So, Jen, how's it going? Teach us your wisdom.
So I'm gonna use, I created a PowerPoint for last year's Super Saturday. So I'm gonna use that as just basically an outline to follow, but I'm a off the cuff kind of girl, so I'll definitely just add some additional commentary. I want this to be interactive, so if you have questions, just feel free to type them in there. In the bottom left or right hand corner, there should be a chat feature. So if there are questions there, you can just enter them via text there, or else feel free to just speak up. No big deal. I also have a few other things that I was going to share. I didn't share these at Super Saturday. I think I might have shared one of them, but one is a pop-up checklist that I use, and I'm happy to share it with everybody. And then the other thing that I use quite often is Post Simplify. And one of the very, very first things I did with LuLaRoe is I created verbiage templates, because I am lazy and I don't want to have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm all about copying and pasting for every pop-up that I do. So I'm going to show you both of those things as well, in addition to my PowerPoint. So let me just make sure I can share. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
Okay. So let me make it a little bigger, because I don't think you care about this. Okay. So we're going to talk about hostess prep, booking pop-ups, talk about your current customers, potential customers, incentive options, and all sorts of stuff. So first is a 72-hour game plan. We did that training in FP. We probably all done it in our individual team pages. I don't necessarily think you have to do the 72-hour game plan. Deanne would kill me for saying that. However, just keep a running list. So what I have is in my calendar or in my planner, I just have a running list. So if somebody says, yeah, I don't think that I'm really ready to book a pop-up, maybe ask me in April. I put their name down automatically in April, and then I'll reach back out to them then. But I do try and make a running list every single month. At the beginning of every month, I'll just write a random list. So it's 72-hour game plan I do like, because it forces you to break things down in categories. So you have your cell phone and your acquaintances, your kids' friends, your work friends, and that type of thing. So it does help you. But once you get going and you're a more established consultant, I think it's more about booking parties from other parties. So when I'm at a party, I always try and book a pop-up while I'm at a pop-up. So whatever it takes. So is it a free pair of leggings? Do they really want a Sarah, but they can't afford it that day? Do they look amazing in an outfit, but their husband only has a budget of $50 for the part, or gave them a budget, which blows my mind that women still need permission, but whatever. So yeah, when they're at a party, that's, to me, once you're established in that kind of cadence of hosting parties and using your hostess to bring in new customers, those are the people that I really focus on booking pop-ups. So in here it talks about booking during events. So when I'm at an event, like I said, if somebody really wants an item, or maybe they can't afford something, and I offer to them, if you book a party, I'll give you this free pair of leggings. Or if you are a host, you'll earn free pieces. So they could earn that Sarah that they're really looking to buy but can't necessarily afford. And then also I occasionally incentivize. So is there double rewards for my next month, or pick a date, pick a pair for leggings? I've done pick a date, pick a bottle, whatever it takes to get them to book a party right then and there on the spot. That to me is really valuable, where you have them in person, while you can look them in the eye while they're in the moment and having fun at that party. I think that's really key. Then the other thing that I like to do is I contact the hostess before the event, and I kind of walk through who's coming, who is a maybe. If I don't get a chance to do it in advance, I always do it right before the pop-up. I get there early and I talk to the hostess, and I say, who's most likely to book a pop-up? And I get her input, and I mean, they're friends, right? They're inviting their coworkers, their peers, their friends, whatever it might be. So they're the ones that are going to be able to tell me who's most likely to book a pop-up. So I'll get 1 to 2 names, and then, when they arrive, they're like, and then the light bulb goes off. Oh, Sherry's the most likely to book a pop-up. So I instantly make her my best friend. I talk about the business. I help her try on clothes. I make her fall in love with pieces, and start talking to her and getting to know, what is it that's going to get her to book a party? Is it a free Sarah? Is it a pair of leggings? Is it you host it at my house so you don't have to clean? Get to know that person. So then by the end of the party, when Sherry's checking out, you can kind of seal the deal. So I found that to be really helpful, since the hostess knows the people better than you do. So walking into the party, just talk to her, ask her for 2 names. It could be an online event or an in-person event, but really use your hostess. And the other thing that I use my hostess for is I'll often incentivize my hostess. So hostess, if I'm able to book 2 pop-ups from your pop-up, I'll give you an extra free pair of leggings, and the person booking your pop-up a free pair of leggings. So then they're also incentivized to help me get those pop-ups booked. So hostess prep. So here I'm going to show you, that was the other thing I have. So I'm going to pull up my hostess letter and just walk through kind of highlights. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. This is nothing fancy. This is either yours, Molly, or Lindsay's, or somebody made it my own. So I think that's really, really important. I've seen some hostess letters that I've reviewed, and it'll say, my favorite piece is the Amelia. And I'm like, I thought you hated the Amelia. So clearly they copied and pasted from somewhere and didn't really take the time to make it their own. So I really think it's important for you to make your hostess letter you. There are lots of examples out there on Retail Therapist, Fashion Passionista, and I'm sure on all of your team pages. So just make sure to make it your own. So up at the top, I talk about it's the easiest party you'll ever host. So an hour and a half, do not make your pop-ups any longer than that, because when you do an hour and a half, those people are not leaving after an hour and a half. They're staying for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever. So if you start with an hour and a half, I think that's a really good starting point. And if you can get in and out of there in an hour and a half, that's amazing.
Jen, are you sharing something?
Can you not see it?
No, I still see your PowerPoint. You have to pick what screen you want to share.
Well, give me 1 second. Thank you. Hold on, let me see. Try again. Can you see it now? Can you see my letter now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So reiterate the fact that it is not your typical Tupperware party. There's no big presentation. It's not cheesy. You know, there's no catalogs. It is literally shop off the rack. An hour and a half. I always encourage my hostess and my guests to show up right at the beginning. Sometimes I'll even, for example, if my kids have an event Saturday mornings, I want to get in there and out of there. So if I have a Saturday morning pop-up, I will incentivize people who come early. So if you show up the first 15 minutes of my pop-up, you're going to get a coupon. So Lula Cash. So if you show up in the first 15 minutes, I'm giving you $5 off at checkout. And what that does is it will get people through the door, get the party going on time, and giving somebody $5 Lula Cash, that's going to burn a hole in their pocket. So they're all buying something if they have that Lula Cash. And then also, it not only gets the party started, but it hopefully will get you out the door sooner than if they all show up 45 minutes into the event. So worth that $5 every single time, in my opinion. I used to say that I'm going to bring 1,000 items in my hostess letter, and then there were times where I didn't feel the need to bring 1,000 items when only 5 people RSVP. So I actually reduced the number to 500. I've never had anybody actually complain. Typically, I bring 600 to 800 pieces, but I just lowered it a little bit in the event that they only have 5 people RSVPing. I'm not hauling 1,000 pieces to that pop-up. I'm going to bring more like 500. So I did lower my letter just in case somebody complained. I talk about inviting guests. So I always encourage them, don't just rely on Facebook. This is not all about just adding somebody to a Facebook invite. You got to call, you got to text, you got to, I always create an image for them to text out with the date, the time, the address, and pick up the phone and call people and invite them personally. I think that goes a really, really long way. Mm-hmm. I always ask that everybody invite 40 to 50 people. Even more if you can, if it's an online event, but for an in-person event, I always say 40 people. And the reason why I say 40 people is typically only a quarter of them actually show up. So I require 10 people RSVP'd, yes. So confirmed yes for me to do an in-home pop-up.
And I remember, I'm just going to interject really quick. I remember Deanne saying that she would call the hostess the day of or the day before the party. And she would, if the hostess didn't pick up, she would leave a voicemail that said, if I'm only going to come if you have 10 people, and if you don't call me back, I'm not coming. So make sure you call me back so we can confirm this. So it was like, but she meant business. Like, I'm not going to waste my time if you're not going to take this seriously, you know, so.
Totally. And I think you have to use your discretion. Like, I'm not going to lie. I have definitely hauled all my inventory to a pop-up that had 3 confirmed guests. So there could be those anomalies where you have 3 guests and they're going to spend $1,000. But we've all had pop-ups where you're going to have $300 in sales or $200 in sales. But
it will happen.
Yes, just as a side note. So some of my worst pop-ups have created my best customers. And the reason why is you're already there, right? You have an hour and a half to spend with that person. So why not have a personal styling session with them? If there were 2 guests, you have all the more reason to just really get to know them. Make them feel good, try on everything. If there are only 2 people there, I'm trying on this stuff with them. I'm going to make outfits for myself and I'm going to make outfits for them and just have fun with them. And it's all about making them feel good. I mean, no one wants to have a party and have 2 and 3 people show up. That's horrifying, totally embarrassing. It makes you feel like crap. So you as a consultant can totally turn that around by saying, it's no big deal, maybe people are busy, or, just BS them if you have to. But even if you're super annoyed and it's going to be the worst party ever, pretend like it's the best thing ever and, and just make them feel good. So you can definitely turn it around even if there aren't a lot of people. But I always say, please have 10 confirmed guests. And typically that works. If they don't have 10 confirmed guests and we're the week of the party, there are a few options. So you could reschedule the party. You could offer to have it at your own house. You could offer to change it to an online party. So a few other options so you still get the business, but don't have to haul all of your stuff for just 3 people. My hostess letter talks about what I'll bring. So the mirror is something that I bring. I also bring a hanger for the back of the door and an accessory bin. So in my accessory bin, I have a denim jacket, a long necklace. I also have pashmina, a scarf, belts, and occasionally I'll even throw on a pair of wedge heels or something, or boots or something that people can just look at shoe wise. So I'm trying to think if I bring anything else for props or anything. Not really. I think that covers it. Then I talk about in my hostess letter, inviting people, posting reminders, post pictures, give them a call, tag your friends, and always make sure that guests feel welcome to bring other friends. The more the merrier is how I feel. Music. There's nothing worse than having silence at a party. I always ask if they can have music playing. I often just I have Pandora on my iPhone and I have a little speaker. So if they don't have music, then I put the music on because I just think it creates a better atmosphere. Food and drink, I tell them no food and drink is necessary. No big deal. Number 1, I don't want the food around my clothes. And number 2, that just distracts people from trying on the clothes and interacting with each other. If they're all about drinking and sitting at the kitchen table, that doesn't do me any good and doesn't do the hostess any good. So I don't encourage food and drinks and such. I always make sure that they know that I'm going to arrive 45 minutes early and that I need the prime parking spot right in front of their door. There have been times where, if you're at an event at a school, you'll have to haul everything down a hallway. If you're at a vendor event, you might, I ended up buying from Menards, one of those dollies, like a mover uses. So that's been really helpful. If I know that I have to haul my stuff a while, I'll make sure to bring that. So 45 minutes is typically what when I arrive, and I unpack all of my stuff. I unpack it all, leave it in the bags, and then I start putting it all on the racks once I get everything in the house. So that walks through my hostess letter. I always make sure to give my Facebook, Instagram, phone number, email, everything, just in case they need to get in contact with me. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. Hold on. Okay.
And guys, just a side note, don't feel like you have to do any of this. This is just a guideline, and Jen has mastered it. I know, Allison, you said, wow, you're fast. It takes me an hour. Jen, like you stopwatched yourself. Like you put a timer on that one time and said, I'm going to beat my time last time to see how fast you can do it. And I think that's great. I never bring an accessory bin because I'm hauling so much other stuff. I've never done that. I think it's a fabulous idea. I've never done that. So don't feel like you have to do any of this stuff. These are just amazing ideas for you to use to your discretion.
And again, I'm lazy. I don't have a separate accessory bin. What I use is a 31 bin, and I have my back of the door hanger for the fitting room. I have my accessories in there. I have my money, so my little change purse that I take everywhere, a calculator, gift certificates. I just put everything all in one 31 tote and carry that along. So I'm not carrying extra separate bins. I just throw it in with what I already have. So the next thing I want to talk about is the event posting. So creating the Facebook event. So there's a couple different ways. You can create a public event, meaning that it could be shared. It could be other people can add to the invite and such. A private event is where you're creating the event from your personal page and adding the host as a co-host on the invite so she can invite her guests. There isn't a right or wrong. I typically, for my biggest events, meaning open houses or things like that, if it's a big fundraiser, I'll make it public. But the majority of my events are private. As far as timing goes, I like to do 3 weeks in advance for an in-person pop-up. I don't know about you guys, but my schedule is booked at least 3 to 4 weeks out with my kids and everything else going on. So I like to give them plenty of time to invite all their guests and get it on the calendar. Post Simplify is what I use. Let me share one more thing. Right when I started LuLaRoe, I can't pretend that I did all this myself. I actually had my assistant work on this, and it's kind of awesome. So what this is my style verbiage. So this is my post. Can you see it? Can you see this?
Yes, we can see it.
So in my Post Simplify template, for those of you who don't know what Post Simplify is, it is a posting template. So every time I host a pop-up, I set up Post Simplify. So my personal info is set to post on day 1. Leggings post on day 2. Irma posts on day 3. And I literally copy and paste everything here. So everything here has its own wording. Recreate this. I did this one time and I use it for every single pop-up. And then as I get new styles, so for example, I didn't always have the Carly dress. I just updated this and added additional styles to my verbiage. So I go through and I have something for every single thing, even the thank you. So I talk about new inventory. I have a post a couple days telling everybody about new inventory, sizing chart. And then the day after the event, I always make sure to do a thank you. And in my thank you, I think that this is a piece that sometimes people miss. In the thank you, I have 4 pieces that I make sure to talk about. So actually 5. So the first one, I talk about helping the hostess choose her free items. Sometimes I even post a picture if I remember to snap one of her and all her free stuff. I remind everyone that wash cold, hang dry. 14 days to exchange. That's just my personal exchange policy. I don't mention returns because if they ask me about a return, then I'll address it because we're required by law to offer them 3 days. But I just encourage exchanges, and if somebody's adamant about the return, then I'll address it then. I always try and get them to join my Facebook group after a pop-up. If you can get half the people to join every single in-person pop-up or even online pop-up, that's amazing. So I always make sure, don't just write it, make sure to tag your page so all they have to do is click on that page link and join your page. And then also just encourage them to book their own pop-up. So that covers everything that I could ever dream of posting in an invite. I don't reinvent the wheel ever. I just use this every single time. So if you don't have something like that, you should work on creating something like that. And it takes a while to get it done the first time, but after that, it's so much easier. I talked about this already. Can you guys see my PowerPoint again?
Yes.
Talked about this a little bit with my hostess letter. I always make sure to check my inventory levels. So we could do a whole separate training on inventory management, but if you know that you're going to a pop-up with teeny tiny women, you better have a lot of extra small smalls. If you know that you're going to a party with a bunch of TC women, you better have a lot of TC sizes. So just make sure to check your inventory a couple weeks prior to your event so that you can have the appropriate inventory for that pop-up. For those people who have gotten to, 700 and up to whatever, there is no way possible to bring that inventory. So you need to decide what is going to be the most appropriate for that event. So what I do now, I have the Carly, the Amelia, and the Julia, but I am not hauling 150 dresses to an event. So beforehand, I check with her, what's your favorite style dress? What's your favorite style skirt? Do you have any preferences of what I'm going to bring? So I make the decision based on those conversations with my hostess what to bring. I typically bring 1, maybe 2 dresses if they're really into the dresses, 1 to 2 skirts. I always bring all 4 of my tops. So tops and leggings are no brainer to me. I never, you can never have enough tops and leggings. So I always go big on the tops and leggings. And then I don't do 10 of every size in the Lindsays and Sarahs, but I do always try and bring a Lindsay or Sarah or Joy, some type of layering piece as an upsell opportunity. The one other thing, so when you're bringing things in your little bag, I always make sure to bring a price list, business cards, style cards. Those are just the ones on your hanger or that you hang on your racks. And then I always try and bring my planner and calendar. So what I do is I just have my calendar out as people are checking out. Oftentimes they'll just take a peek at it or look around, and I'll highlight the days that I have open. And that just is a good way to prompt the conversation about hosting a pop-up. So just have that on your checkout counter, wherever it might be. And hopefully that can prompt those conversations about hosting their own party. A few other questions that came in to me prior to this that I just want to hit on. I covered some a little bit. So I'm trying to think who posted it. Mary posted. So how do you increase sales per customer? So I have several people on my team who don't have problems booking pop-ups and don't have problems getting people to the events, but they want to up their, what we used to call in retail world, UPT, or units per transaction. So how can you get people to buy more when they're there? So a couple things that I recommend. So if you're going to run a special, don't offer something like a 20% off or 10% off, that type of thing. Make them spend more to get that percentage off. So I typically do spend $125, spend $150, then you get the reward. So spend $125, get a Cassie, spend $150, get an Irma, or whatever inventory that you have an excess of at that point. Don't offer your best sellers. Like, I don't think I've ever given away Carly's because they sell all the time. Leggings are good too because they only cost you $10. And so if you can up the cost or number of pieces per transaction by giving away a $14 Cassie skirt that might be a slower mover anyways. That to me is totally worth it. So that's always worked really, really well. I have highlighted items. So Jen McCann's really good. I don't think she's on tonight, but she's really good at highlighting items. So if she has the highlighted item as the Amelia dress, so that's a $65 item, and just do a spotlight of that. Highlight that item for this week and offer $5 off for anybody who buys an Amelia, maybe free shipping if you want to do something a little bit more. So make sure that that's a higher price item so the margins are really good and you still have a lot of profit, even if you're offering $5 off. I wouldn't offer $5 off on a kid's item or a leggings or something that's way less. But on those bigger ticket items, maybe a Sarah, something like that, 10% off a Sarah, offer the incentives on bigger priced items, higher priced items. Let's see. Incentive cards, I think, can sometimes help your sales or how many pieces they're buying. So buy 10 items, get one free. So if they're trying to get to that 10th item to get the free item, that can also work well. I used to do those incentive cards and I backed away from that about 6 months into the business. And it was simply because I couldn't keep track of them. And definitely put it on the customer if you want to do those incentive cards, because I think it can be very difficult to try and track it. And I had customers coming back and, can you look up how many pieces I purchased? And to me, it just wasn't worth it. I like to do random acts of kindness. So if I have a customer, I mean, you know, the customers that are buying 10 pieces. So I just randomly gift them. If they're, you know, debating on 2 shirts, I'll just gift them the second shirt or an extra pair of leggings randomly. So the other thing, and I touched on this a little bit. So Nicole had asked previously, if you have a guest who's at your pop-up and it's clear that they're kind of off to the side and you might hear them say it's expensive or they don't have the money or it's not in their budget, there are a couple ways that I, not combat, but responses to that I usually try. So one, if they can't afford the clothes or if it's too expensive, I again talk about booking a pop-up, because if you book a pop-up, you get free clothes. So I've definitely booked some parties for people who just couldn't afford the clothes, and it's turned out really well because those are often the people who are really motivated to help you make the sales, so they get the free items. The second piece is recommendation is I've on more than one occasion just gifted them something. It's all about being generous with this business and blessing others' lives. I know that sounds cheesy sometimes, but it's so true. I had a woman who hosted a party and her mom came to the event. She was probably in her 70s and she fell in love with this outfit. And you could tell she was just kind of sad and you know, she walked back and put it on the rack. And after a while, she just kept kind of sitting in the corner, but she was so happy and looked adorable in the outfit. And I could tell she wasn't going to buy it. And I heard her mention to her daughter that, you know, no, I don't have the money to buy it. So I just walked over to her. I put the outfit in a bag and I gifted it to her. It was $25, not a big deal. And what did she do? She literally started bawling, gave me the biggest hug, and went around telling everybody else at the party how amazing I was. Oh, darn, right? Like, you just made her feel amazing. She walked around the party and told everybody how awesome you are as a consultant. And you have a super happy customer, and you bet your ass that next time she wants to purchase something and has money, she's coming back to me. And that's exactly what she did. When she did have money, she remembered how good I made her feel at the party, and she came right back and has bought several more pieces from me. So it doesn't have to be a whole outfit. It could be a pair of leggings. It could be something that you have had in your inventory for 6 months. It doesn't really matter. I gifted a pair of 4th of July leggings about a week ago, and you would have thought I gave this chick a winning lottery ticket. So it doesn't matter. Use some of those extra Valentine's leggings and just make it a big deal and give them something if they're complaining about not being able to afford it or whatever. The last thing for that scenario that I recommend, I sometimes will do, and I don't always do this, but a 5 for 5 deal. So try on 5 things and you get $5 off. Not only does that encourage people to try on things that they, have in their hand, but they're going to you have to try on 5 different styles. So you can pick your styles, but sometimes people, oh, the Sarah's $70. I'm never trying that on because that's an expensive item. But if you can get them to put it on and they realize it's like a robe you can wear outside in public, they're probably going to buy it, even if it's $70. So, and they're earning $5 off of that Sarah that they thought previously was too expensive to buy. So, I have had really good success with that 5 for 5 deal. And then for anybody who does the 5 for 5, I'll put them in a raffle at the party and give a free pair of leggings at the end. And I pick the leggings most of the time, and I'm not picking my brand new elephant leggings. I'm picking a solid pair of leggings or whatever. So try on 5 pieces, 1 in every style, get $5 off, and then pick a random winner. So again, that encourages people who might not be able to afford making a purchase to try things on, even if they weren't planning on buying something, and also gets people just interacting. That was a lot of information in a very short amount of time. What questions do you guys have?
That was awesome. Someone said, I think Sarah, how do you handle the Debbie Downer at the party? The one who is always negative.
No, I love Debbie Downers.
Yeah, me too.
I personally try and get them to try stuff on. I had my worst Debbie Downer was I had a metallic classic tee that was in my inventory for at least 8 months. And I had this chick try it on, and she was pretending she was Jane Fonda in a workout video. And not going to lie, it kind of looked like a Jane Fonda workout shirt and, the whole bandana thing. And she tried it on, and I was like, can you go put your jeans back on? And then I put my necklace around her, and she looked adorable. Like, you could just, I'm like, actually, it looks cute now. And so I'm a pretty bold person, so I'm probably not the norm, but I will straight up call them out too and be like, oh, well, with LuLaRoe, we like to make people feel good about themselves. And let's just keep it that way for this party. I'll talk to the hostess and pull them aside too if I'm trying to be a little bit more discreet about it. And just tell them, like, what's going on with your friend? Why is she being like that? I think that it is important also, especially given some of the articles that have come out recently and some of the negative publicity. I'm not one to shy away from that. I'd rather be open and upfront and address those things. So are there going to be holy leggings? Yep. Just like my daughter's Target holy leggings that I threw out yesterday, or just like my Banana Republic sweater that has this. It happens everywhere, but I think we have a really good opportunity as independent consultants to turn that negative experience around. And again, some of my best customers have come from really poor experiences with the quality of my pieces, the pieces. So a Randy tee that had pilling on it, or leggings that literally split right across the butt while she was teaching middle schoolers. Yes, Allison, like face to the head. I did not need that in a text message either, but thank you for sending me that. It's all about how you handle those situations. So they could be Debbie Downers. I've had really uncomfortable conversations about it. But if you're just honest and upfront, we stand behind our stuff 100%. I mean, I've never, and I've had some damages after doing this for 14 months. I've never had a damage declined. So if you damage something out, they have our back. So I'm pretty lenient about the return policy and just making sure that I keep the customer happy. And if you are in the moment at an in-person pop-up, to me, I'd rather just address it and be done with it and try and make a joke out of it and be nice and funny. But even if you want to punch her in the teeth, just try and address it. And if you need to get the host involved,
and just to piggyback on that, I don't know if everybody saw the email that came out yesterday about the talking points regarding the articles and the lawsuits and everything. Definitely read those stats and don't be afraid to talk about it. So like, for instance, you know, the industry average with returns or with damages, we're like way below the industry average, the industry standard. Definitely look that stuff over. Keep that in your back pocket because you will use it. Because people love to cause drama. Like, oh, I heard you were in the news, and you know, oh my gosh, look at all those complaints to Better Business Bureau. And 200 people complained to Better Business Bureau. How many thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of customers that we have out of 200 people, out of all the, I mean, it's all about perspective, but definitely take a look at those talking points and keep those in your back pocket because it's great ammunition, and you don't have to be, you know, bitchy about it, but just know your stuff. And you know, and the just talking about the whole like, oh my gosh, that's so ugly stuff. Jen, I talk about your situation or your example all the time when you first started.
Yes.
And you called me and you were like, oh my God, these Irmas are so ugly. I'm sending them back. I'm sending them back, Molly. And I'm like, yeah, don't do that. I kept saying like, you are not the customer. You are not the customer. And then your sister-in-law or somebody came in and the first thing she bought was one of those ugly ass Irmas.
Yeah. All of the exact, like my initial shipment came, my mom was coming over and my sister-in-law were coming over, and I got the most hideous color, rust color Irma with feathers on it. And I looked at my mom, I'm like, did I make the wrong decision? What am I going to do if all the shirts are like this? And 10 minutes later, my sister-in-law walks in, goes right over to that Irma, and she's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And that was the very first item I sold. So it was a total gut check that
Everything
I like everything to be black and white does not mean everybody else likes all black and white stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, and I personally, as far as the articles and stuff going around, I personally never post anything proactively on my page. So if somebody wants to talk about it with me, if somebody PMs me, I actually have my page so that I'm admin approved on my page. So I would never let anybody post anything like that on my page. I would address it as a one-off situation. I'm not going to go out and say, hey, I heard there's an article about holy leggings. Don't worry, I have a good return policy. I'm never going to post something because I don't want to, like Lindsay said yesterday, I don't want to perpetuate the issue and keep getting more clicks on those articles. But I will address it and be very transparent with my customers. They're not dumb, right? I mean, there were holy legging issues before. There were no big deal. It's all about just telling them and reiterating the fact that if you have holy leggings, send them back and I will replace them. Absolutely, no question.
Right. Exactly.
What other questions, comments, any struggling with? It doesn't have to be even related to in-person pop-ups.
Anyone? Bueller?
I see all the comments. I'll post my letter and my pop-up checklist.
Awesome. Yeah, you saw those messages.
Yeah.
I've never used Post Simplify. Everyone talks about it, and I'm always like, oh, I should totally check that out. I need to do that.
Tracy, you can shout at me whenever, but I say this all the time. There's nothing that I'm doing that is where I'm rude with my customers and I make them feel good every single time they walk in my house. Those are the only things. I'm not a pusher. I don't people in the I guess bathroom would treat them exactly how I would want to be treated when I go shopping. Leave them alone, encourage them to try new things. And I'm honest with them. If they try on a perfect tee and it makes them look pregnant, letting them walk. If they try on an Amelia and the pleats on their hips look terrible, no, I'm gonna encourage them to try a Julia instead. And I think I built really relationships because I'm very honest with people, not in a mean way, but just very honest. It's like shopping with your mom. Like she's the only one who's gonna tell you, you look that and that. Not that I say that to customers, but if I ever have a special event, I'm always taking my mom because I know she's gonna be honest with me. So I use that mentality when I have customers over. So when they leave here, they feel good in it. They look good.
Totally. Love it. Does anyone have anything else to share?
Anything good going on this week?
Yeah, tell us something good. No one?
Somebody has to have something good going on. I challenged my team to $10,000 in March.
Nice.
I have fundraiser going on right now. Thanks on my page. I'm doing it in a few different groups, but I have any sales until Sunday is being applied to it.
To Children's Hospital?
Yeah.
Post it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yay.
Is it a specific person or guys?
No. My plan is on the website you can either donate just a general money amount, or you can go through and buy items from their wish list. So kind of depending on how much I raise is going to kind of depend on what I do with it.
Cool.
But, yeah.
That's awesome.
Jamie is a hustler. Talk about your February girlfriend who is booked till August. How far out are you booking? You're on mute.
Oh wait, can you not hear me?
I just unmuted you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
We can.
Awesome. Through August, but I do have I did leave spaces available every month for things that come up.
So how are you booked till August?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I was a teacher for 15 years, so in a relatively small town, and I was the first one to get in. Now there's it's only been 7 months, and now I think there's 6 or 7 consultants in Norwalk. So I would love to build a team, but I'd rather them not be from Norwalk. But so it is getting a little harder, but luckily I was the first one in, so that's been a blessing. People knew me from the beginning, so it's been easy. It's getting harder though. It's getting harder.
You just got to keep going back to your old hostesses and host it in the spring or the fall of last year. Get them to book another one in the spring.
Right.
I'm definitely starting to have repeat year after year now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and treat those hostesses extra special when they host again.
I've had some of them help me with the lives, and I think they like it more than I do.
Oh, you had your hostesses come? That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been thinking and toying with the idea. I think I'm going to do either in March or April, a hostess only open house where I invite all of my past hostesses to come, and I'll offer them 10% off their entire purchase or something, but it's only past hostesses,
Oh, that's cool.
just as a reward.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen that. And then past hostesses get first dibs type of thing
Yep.
on new stuff. Cool. Anybody have anything else?
Kylie, you're being quiet. She does outfits. She's really good at posting outfits, and then she started her weekly online events recently. So that's
I'm I just booked a pop-up tonight off of my open house, so I was pretty excited.
hey.
Sweet.
Oh, actually, into my I did learn something really smart this last Sunday, because it always is a chore with a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a dog and cats or whatever to get the house ready for opens and such. So I had an in-home pop-up scheduled here at my house. 2 birds with 1 stone, and the house is already clean and ready for the pop-up. And so one of the girls that came to the open house then, she's like, oh, well, you know, my apartment's not big enough. I'm like, I just did a hosted event right here before. And so she's like, oh, we can do that. And so then she just said it tonight. So it's booked.
That is genius on the back-to-back open house.
She scheduled hers for April, so I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to tack on my April open house then.
Yes. That's the best.
Totally.
Babysitter, like everything. And if you're only doing an hour and a half pop-up, and then you could even do it like a power hour
right.
for your.
So I just kind of combined all the sales together, kind of 1 3-hour party. So
That's awesome. So smart.
it worked well.
I know Crystal's talked about doing her in-homes like on a Tuesday and Wednesday, so she only has to load her van once. So she would have, you know, a pop-up Tuesday, load everything back in the van, and then, yeah, you may have to drive around Wednesday with all your stuff, but just keep it in the van, and then you can just unload it at your next party. Those customers on your second day aren't going to know what isn't there from the first party. So I've done that before, which has been awesome. You don't have to load the car once.
That is smart.
So, okay, we're running a little
I'm doing a kind of unique party. Sorry to hop in here real quick, but
No.
I actually just met a new neighbor, and she just moved in here, and they're military, so they don't really have like anybody here, but she has a really big like Facebook, you know, online people from all over. So we are actually going to do like a Facebook Live online party because she doesn't know anybody here. So me and her together are going to go live for the first like 45 minutes to an hour. And she wants to put things on and try them on and take them off and everything to show people. And then we're going to load into the albums after that. So I thought that was kind of a fun twist on kind of a in-person / online party.
That is sweet. And it sounds like she's your next future consultant.
I know. She's all about it. I was like, woohoo!
That's awesome. Yeah, and also about the whole going live thing, I know other people have said this too. If you are at a party and it is slow, I know I've done a couple in the beginning where I've had 2 people show up and they bought a pair of leggings each, and I had all my stuff. Nothing is worse than hauling all your stuff to have 2 people come in and buy leggings and then leave. So what I did back then was just messaged everybody that I knew that wanted to come and shop that I just hadn't gotten around to or didn't have an open house scheduled yet. Told them to come to that party. Obviously you have to clear it with your hostess, but also do a live from that party. So either on, I think you can do lives on event pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so do a live on the event to get her people that didn't show up. I know stuff happens, you know, people back out the last minute, whatever, but do a live showing whatever. Pick stuff, use the hostess, get her involved. That's helped too. So don't be afraid of the live button.
It is scary, but
It is scary, but just do it. Just do it. I incentivized my team last month to do live. Take a screenshot.
I always, on my team page, I just say to go live on the team page because we all feel stupid going live for our first time. So just go live and share your inventory or talk about something that worked well, and just go live and introduce yourself so that you can learn the functionality and the capabilities of going live on Facebook, and then also get your jitters out. And then I've also had team members who even create their own dummy groups. So they'll add their best friend or their mom or their husband or whatever, and they just go live in that group. And then, as painful as it is, watch yourself over and over again. And you learn your little ticks, or I say the word literally all the time, and I hate it, but I just say it all the time.
You literally say it all the time.
I literally say it all the time, or I try and watch. So I'll put little sticky notes back when I'm going live. Don't say literally, stop saying speak slowly, all those kind of things, because nobody can see your notes when you're going live if you just put them behind the camera. So
that's a good idea. Awesome. Anything else?
One thing I've been finding here lately, I work at a small hospital, and a lot of my girls don't do LuLaRoe. So if someone buys an outfit, I'll bring it in, and then I have a bunch of them. What's that? That's so cute. I've been getting more sales this way than I have been a lot of them. And I actually have a lot of them wanting me to bring my clothes to the hospital to sell as like a pop-up at the hospital, because we're like a small hospital, and maybe do a donation to the hospital for them to let me do that. It's like an idea. Like all the girls are like pressuring me to do this, because obviously I'll probably get a lot of sales out of it because it's mostly an all-female hospital. We don't have that many guys, but a lot of the staff there really like the idea of that. But I've been finding them like, oh, I'll just bring it to work, and then everybody looks at it, and I find I got a lot of sales about it. Just
I'd be bringing a leggings bag every single day I worked.
I did that actually at Children's when I was there every day for 3 months. But I was just talking to one nurse, and hey, let me tell Abby, and she would bring Abby in, and oh yeah, I was talking to so and so. Hey, can you bring some stuff in? So sure as heck, the next time I was in there, I was hauling one of those children's wagons full of my LuLaRoe stuff, and I made some sales big time. And then it just catches on, and you know, don't be afraid to talk about your business. Don't be afraid. You rock it every day. And someone says, oh my gosh, those leggings are so cute, because people say that. Talk about it. Oh my gosh, I sell them. I have so much. I have everything online right now. Here's my card. Check it out.
yeah, I actually can wear my leggings to work with my job, and I even had patients ask me, and I'm like, oh, I sell it. Here's my card.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Okay. Anything else? If not, I'm going to go put my kids to bed. Super past their bedtime.
I've got trolls in the background. I can hear they're still awake.
Yeah.
Snow White's still on. I can hear it. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining. Hopefully this was a little informative. Jen's going to post stuff on, are you going to do it on the event page?
Yeah.
Okay. So check back with that, and join us in 2 weeks. Hopefully everyone will come back. I think we had the most that we've had. 20 people was the most, I think. Yay. So good. Okay. Thanks, you guys.
Have a
Have a
good
great
night.
rest of the
Thank
week.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.